On behalf of Venture Southland, we welcome the guests along today and also the businesses that have been through the 2015 program. When we started this program 4 years ago, we started as a pilot, and that pilot was very, very successful. And the first year we saw a huge improvement in businesses that were pretty much traditional businesses and businesses that had undertaken their activities on the same basis for many years in most cases. And what we really wanted to achieve in the program was to ensure that Southland businesses could continue to operate in Southland and be globally competitive. And that's the big picture. At the time, there was a very strong move to move manufacturing and process industries and distribution industries and so on offshore because of cheap labour and struggle for New Zealand businesses to manufacture or process or do what they have to do very efficiently. And of course, as Southlanders, 70% of our GDP, that's the money go around in Southland, is directed at export. And we produce 15.5% of all New Zealand's tradable exports and 94,000 people. So we punch way above our weight as a country, as a region, I should say. As a country, the aim by 2024 is to have every region dedicating about 40% of its GDP to export. And we're already at 70%, and we know we can do better. And that's why we have this program, because a lot of our businesses contribute to the competitiveness of processing and building and construction and various other things because they're part of the supply chain or they contribute to the processing or what have you. So now we're 4 years on. We've had a outstanding group here this year, and I understand from Clinton that one of the teams has achieved one of the highest scores that he's experienced in small businesses in New Zealand, and he is the best. We were very deliberate 4 years ago in canvassing New Zealand to try and get the very best leaders of this program, and we consistently got the message that this guy in Auckland knows his stuff. So we thought, well, how's an Aucklander going to fit in down dealing with Southlanders, And he didn't have patent leather shoes. That was a good sign. And when we met with Clinton, we found that he's a straight shooter. He doesn't mince his words. He's very much like he has an ethos not dissimilar to Southland or the sort of manner that Southland people appreciate, and that's proven to be very, very true. So we've got 22 businesses that have been through this manufacturing and lean process, but we've had 34 of Southland's leading dairy farm operations through the program as well. It's a parallel program, separate, and that's proving to be highly successful as well. And we're seeing dairy farmers improving their productive capability, but also reducing the inputs into their farming activities, and as a consequence, not only are their staff happy and working more effectively, and their achievements in terms of budget and waste have been minimised, but they've become very, very efficient in a whole range of areas. So we see dairy farms that were drawing maybe 40,000 litres of water a day, drawing 20,000 litres a day. They don't have to repump, saving 35% of their energy costs. We've got some now that are collecting methane and offsetting all of their energy costs. But it's a combination of activities. So I guess what I would say is that Clinton is a great guy at helping businesses to look critically at their own operations, identify what's really good, identify what possibly needs to change, and also working with the teams alongside Scott and Alistair and our teams to try and optimise the opportunity for them. One of the conversations we had last year was the need to make occupational health and safety, or health, safety and environment, an important pillar for business. And the program this year, as you all realise, has quite a strong component in this area. And my understanding from, and I haven't been involved in the detail, from Clinton and the team, is that all the businesses that have been through the program have also come up with a very robust health and safety pillar, if they didn't already have that. And so that's fantastic. We know the onerous responsibilities that are being placed on business around health, safety and environment, and this is a major step forward. So just on behalf of the venture team, we welcome you along. We appreciate the guests that have come along to see what the program is all about today. But really the big story for today is around the PowerNet, Aroa Synergy, BJ Carter teams, BT's, Lockheed Engineering, Yanka and Windsor Brass. You're the guys, you're the heroes. You're going to tell us what you've achieved during this program this year. And thank you very much for attending today, and we hope to learn a lot from your presentation.
The ethic down here, as Steve says, is very similar to my own belief. The saying I said this morning, if it doesn't challenge you, it's not going to change you. I think Southlanders rise to challenges. And the businesses who have been on this program, they've certainly risen to the challenge, and they will be sharing their story. I'm not going to steal any of the thunder. We're going into the presentations very, very shortly. Look, we're on a pretty tight schedule. We have lunch arriving at 1 o'clock. What I'm going to encourage all of our guests to do is to hang around for lunch. We won't have an opportunity for questions and answers after each presentation. It can become a little bit cumbersome. So what I'd like you to do, if any of the presentations touches on something that you want to know more about or anything of interest, make a note, identify the person, and over lunch start up some networking and some one-on-one conversations, especially the companies who are here looking potentially to join the 5th cluster starting next year. So I'll be facilitating this next session. We've tried to limit each of the presentations to 10 minutes, and it's funny that we've got to try and limit because they want to tell us everything. They're excited. So we're trying to limit it to 10 minutes. They'll tell us their story. I will maybe summarize very briefly at the end of each presentation just to contextualize what you've heard. But as I say, specific questions and answers, if you can save those for lunchtime. Unfortunately, one of our 7 companies won't be here today, Yunka. I will say we visited them over the last 2 days. We've been doing the final set of visits, and I'm well impressed. So we visited Yunka yesterday. They've done a great job, and unfortunately, they're not here to tell their story. They have to be on the 11 o'clock flight out of Invercargill. So we have 6 presentations to get through, and we'll start with Windsor very, very shortly. Windsor Brass, and we'll ask Tom to come up. Tom, if you want to come up and get yourself prepared. As I say, for me, it's a very, very proud day. I'm going to grab that. It's an opportunity for me to sit back for a change and not say too much. And hopefully these presentations will enlighten you in terms of the journey that they've been on and what they've taken out of it. So thanks. I'll hand up to Tom.